Hey everyone. So today is going to be definitely what people call a struggle stream because I don't know how to use anything. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please let me know if you can hear me as I play the intro. I'm pretty sure you guys cannot hear me. So let me know if you can hear me. All right. So welcome everyone. Please let me know if you can hear me. That's the most important thing. Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. All right. How is everyone doing today? I'm very excited to be doing this right now because one of my favorite things, but hold up. I know everything that it, not everything, but I know what is happening with the lead attorney, right? I know I need to talk about this. I was hoping Abba and Preach, who are friends with him, would talk about it. They haven't. So I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. Today is going to be kind of different. I just wanted to chill. I got two videos sent to me, one really good and the other not so much, right? And I want us to talk about it. I will drop the link. We can come on and we can talk about all of this together. Um, I love the new place, but the background. Thank you. I do too. Thank you. Is that Naomi behind you? Absolutely. That is definitely Naomi Campbell. It's her coffee table book. The other one is there. It comes in two sets. One is like huge, and the other one is a lot smaller. This is the lot smaller one. Um, TLA is shady to me. I'm going to refrain from commenting until tomorrow because I've been collecting some information and I think I want to talk about it, not just going through the details, right? But like honestly, just talking about it from a human perspective and what the natural inclination should be when something like this happens. It's giving very much people deserve to die at the hands of police officers, right? And no one have empathy, right? So I think I think we need to reframe. I also think this is way more than entertainment, right? Like, but I don't want to sort of disrupt this stream because this stream is not about that. And there is a kind of respect that is required when we discuss these topics. So I'm going to reframe. I'm going to play the intro again, take a moment, and then come back, and then we're gonna do this because I don't want to mix those two energies because the other one he's probably gonna get dragged. So that. Oh, it's not tomorrow. Thank you. It's Friday. Friday. All right. So I was extremely proud of Floyd Mayweather. And I don't say that often. Floyd Mayweather is not someone that I watch. It's not someone I'm a fan of. I think he is good at his sport. I think whatever you think of him, at least he's a good fighter, right? So I've always kind of stayed away from anything that is too flashy. I am not someone who enjoys people who are flashy. And I think Floyd Mayweather, for me, is the epitome of being extremely flashy. So I kind of stay away from him as a general matter. But old video of his resurfaced. I think I first saw this on I Am Iloho's channel. I think she literally just posted it like a couple hours ago, or maybe even yesterday. I don't know. And I watched it and I was extremely proud. But then I saw comments saying he doesn't believe this and he doesn't believe that. Um, I don't know why we are seeing these comments because it shouldn't matter. I think all of us, we are on a journey of learning. And when people start to learn and show that they are improving in any sense, I think we should give credit. Like, to be fair, this is like the bare minimum, right? But to not take that away from people when they do something good. We want to encourage good behaviors, at least in my mind. So, for those who don't have any idea what I'm talking about, Floyd Mayweather, well, instead of telling you, let's watch this interview with Floyd Mayweather and his son, and then we'll talk about it. Not, not me.
Dude, he got good hair. No, because that's colorism when we say that. Yeah. That's colorism. That's colorism when we say that. So because the opposite. See, the thing is this. Even like the thing when they keep on saying Becky with the good hair. So Becky got the good hair. Then what? Someone's got the bad hair. Well, who got the bad hair? Because the opposite of good is bad. Right. So once again, that's colorism. I mean, it is true, bro. Like you gotta. So my thing is this. See, I'm real. You gotta realize I'm real sharp. I'm real educated on all this stuff. So my thing is this. I like to say that it's different textures, and you got one with coarse, and you may have a person with coarse, and you may have someone with curly. You got different textures. That's it. But it's not such thing as good and bad. Right. It's just different textures. Because if we say someone got good hair, then what's the opposite of good? I think it's bad. Okay, so we don't want to say that. I mean, you got a curly texture. It's okay. Okay, I'm in. I can rock with.
All right. So this is a moment where a man checks another man who is being colorist and featurist, and the right word I think is texturist, right? Now there's all this est and all of that. The way in which we usually have these conversations is under the umbrella of colorism, right? For those who don't know anything about colorism, I think everyone knows it. But colorism, for me, finds its roots in racism. It is impossible to separate colorism from racism. We'll get to texturism in a moment, right? Someone's value and perceived superiority wouldn't be based on the color of their skin if not for the ideas around racism. Now, we can go into the sort of psychological studies that points out how people treat other people based on the complexion of their skin, but essentially, colorism is the notion that the lighter you are, the better you are treated, the more privilege you have, and people are more willing to believe, accept, and treat you better because of the color of your skin. Conversely, if you are darker skin, right, you are treated poorly, right? This is obviously tied to racism. I already did a video in the early days of this channel, not too long ago, about colorism, right? We've talked about it. But a subcategory under colorism, though the scholarship may differ, that it's not a category under colorism because dark-skinned people can have looser texture here, all of that stuff, it's fine. You don't have to conceptualize it this way. It doesn't matter. It's a distinction without mattering in this specific point. When it comes to texturism, what we're talking about is a preference for hair that is smoother or have looser texture, and the discrimination against people with kinkier, coarse hair within the same race. When it comes to sort of curls, looser curls, or idealized or fetishized proximity to sort of the Eurocentric standard of beauty, this is where we have a problem. Now, I am not here to give you a lesson on colorism. I'm not here to give you a lesson on texturism or featureism. I'm not. What I'm here to point out is the message of promotion, the discussions happening online, they might be, and I say might with fervence, right? Because I do believe it is, have an impact on the way people are having these conversations generally. Because Floyd Mayweather articulates here that, hey, I am educated in this way. I understand colorism, and what you say is colorist. Now, I will put a huge caveat, right? While I love to see it, and I do, there is nothing bad here. I just have a problem where people are attacking him and saying, oh, he doesn't really believe this or he doesn't believe that. Well, I would stray away from getting to people's intent without at least circumstantial evidence that he doesn't believe it. What I will point out, however, is in the moment that he calls out colorism, this is not a problem. Preface. Usually, we are able to see problems in the way that other people conduct themselves when the issue or the aggression or the hate, right, or the discrimination is aimed at you. And in this case, the discrimination, the texturism was actually aimed at Floyd Mayweather, and he felt it personally. Here's how. His son is being celebrated by this other black man for having quote unquote good hair, as opposed to who? His father. Right, like take a moment to think about it, right? When the interviewer said, oh, you have good hair, right, it is in relationship to his father. So the person with the bad hair in that moment, as far as the interview is concerned with, right, is Floyd Mayweather. So the fact that he came to the realization then and decided to speak up then, I can't speak to why he decided to do it. I love that he did it. I'm here celebrating that he did it. But it was an attack on him. It was a direct attack on him. He obviously used, right? He used the sort of black woman promotion, either dark skinned black woman platforms on YouTube's description of why this is a problem to explain why it was a problem, but he used it to protect himself and his own image. Let's be clear now, obviously, in protecting himself and his image, he also extend that to other people, other women and men who have our hair texture, right? So I just wanted to point that out. I am here for the celebration. I will. I don't think he should be dragged for doing something that I think is a net positive, but I don't think it would be genuine of me. And I didn't pick this up the first watch. I think it was after the probably eighth watch that I realized that in the moment when they were speaking, it was literally a defense of himself and his hair, right? I mean, go tell Chris Brown this, right? So I don't think it's a point that needs much contextualizing, right? Like, I don't think you need to fully understand why he stepped forward, even though understanding it would mean you could replicate it for other people. But I don't think that is necessary now. It's just, in my opinion, a good thing. Let's go to the chat. Good point, Jay says. What did I miss? Nothing. Kiki right. Wait, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Let's open this up. I apologize. Look confused, but so are many Afro-Latinos. Oh, I did some research on him before I came on, and I decided I won't talk about him. I want this to be a bit of a celebratory moment. And I hope that the conversations we're having online is ultimately to help other people get to a point where they are having these kinds of discussion where women don't need to be checking men, but men are checking other men about their like insidious talking points and conversations and things like that. I feel like this is where we want to go as a society, but this happened last year and well, not much changed. Wait until you watch the African man blaming black women and white men on colorism. Oh, send me that video. Well, I didn't understand why he looked so hurt. Yeah. 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 He told members on Bone Thugs they must have drove ladies crazy because their hair looked like they had Indian in their families. See, there is a. You want to know the frustrating thing? There is a ton of self-hate, and I feel like for a lot of us we don't want to admit it, because to admit some of these things, right, would be to admit flaws in ourselves. And I don't know why we don't want to admit these flaws. The other day I talked about Carl Jung and the shadow self, right? And tucking the parts of ourselves we think are bad or shameful away. And it comes up. Like, you cannot hide who you are and what you feel. You can't hide that forever. It will show up in the way that you talk, right? The way you talk to each other, the way we shame each other for our skin tone, for our hair texture, for how we dress. Like, we project a lot into the world. And I think a lot of that has to do, I'm not a psychologist, right? So take this for what you will. I think a lot of that comes from projecting, right? A lot of that comes from dealing with our own sort of unresolved traumas and feeling of inadequacies. It's really interesting. The host actually expected Floyd to to denigrate himself out of respect for the host. He almost looked offended. Yeah, I mean, men aren't used to being checked by men in this way, right? And I like the resolution, but the fact that you would say something like that is kind of horrendous. Yes, he protected the community even though he didn't know it. Yeah. Yeah. This was great to see. I applaud him for standing up and calling it out in the moment. Yeah, that's the part. That's what I like, actually. I'm glad I read this. That's what I like. It was a sort of immediate reaction. The question about why and maybe him feeling attacked might come up and whatever. And I think that's a fun sort of a theoretical discussion to have, right? But I think we should, well, let me not tell people what to do. For me, I celebrate in that he did it in that moment. Like, it was like, no. I like that, because I would want to defend myself too. Interestingly enough, the first time I was told I had quote unquote good hair was when I was in America and when I went to the barbershop. And it was a kind of like hoopla in the barbershop, because all these grown men were just there talking about how good my hair is. And I thought for a moment, right? I am killing it, right? Like, I'm a child. I'm thinking this is great, but then realizing by them saying that they were degrading other people's hair. There were other kids getting their haircuts in the shop, and I realized, like, a lot of this does have impact on people's self-esteem. Like, you are literally there saying things like, oh, your hair is so good, or you have good eyes, meaning you don't have brown eyes. Let's be clear. Or if you have brown eyes, they're light brown. I think a lot of the things that we say out loud highlight some of the feelings we have about ourselves. Yeah. His accent so cute. Oh, thank you. Your picture is beautiful. Thank you. Yes to men checking other men. Yep. I also found a lot of people reacting to, well, let me not bring up TLA right now. um, it looks like you have a new camera. I don't have a new camera. I have an entire studio. I have a whole entire studio happening here. I turned an entire room into a kind of YouTube office because I am a perfectionist, but now I know how to do nothing. Now I know how to do nothing. All right, we're gonna, so I wanted to show this because I wanted to take a moment and celebrate. We're gonna get into some mess now. Um, I'm going to drop the link at some point for people to come on. Yeah, the office looks good. Now I have two offices. It's kind of wasteful, actually. I have two offices. I have my work office and now my YouTube office. Previously, I only had one. So I turned a den into an office and then the room into an office. And this is a mess. Let's move on because it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know why I do this, but if nothing else, know that I love doing this. So, yeah. All right. Why is the man so concerned with the physical appeal of other men? Oh, that. um, I think people's inadequacy shows up. People's perceived inadequacies shows up in a lot of the things that they say and a lot of the things that they do. And if we should be real about some of the things that we feel, I think a lot of people would look down. People believe other people would look down on them, right? It there is a saying that no one loves straight men like other straight men because their performance of masculinity affirms their own masculinity, i.e., fragility. Oh, I did a video on the fragility of masculinity. That got a ton of hate. So talking about a ton of hate, so YouTube decided that they would remove the dislike button, and I know a lot of people are mad. I know a lot of people are mad. They are cross, angry, miserable. If you are Jamaican, you know what that was referenced to. These people are mad. You know how you start a live stream and you haven't even said a word and it's already thumbs down? Like, no one can see it now. Because by the way, I'm opposed to it. I actually like I actually like people seeing the downvotes, and I think I thought it was a good thing. Bounty killer there. Oh my God, I am being too much. He must look like he is living good, even if he is not. He looks like. I am very happy. I needed the break that I took. Themis, when crack up, I crack up too. All right, I'm trying to slowly get into this next topic. Because it is a mess. Let's go there. It's like you cannot win. I've been working out too. Let me stop. All right. I have been watching a ton of content creators, right? And over a while, right? Like you start getting a feel for things that you like to talk about, that you don't like to talk about, but also you sort of engage with your audience in the way that they want to engage without creating an echo chamber, right? All right, great. I don't understand. All right. All right. Let me be real for a moment. I've been super skinny my entire life. I am putting on a ton of weight now, muscles, right? And I am very excited about it. I move closer to my gym and I go there every single day. Every single day. Um what tea theme is Hot Boy Winter? By the way, as I saw tea, um I am drinking mud water again. I need mud water to run me a sponsorship, even though I don't do sponsorship. All right. It's lovely to see you happy. Oh, Deanne, I am very happy. Mostly because I'm being very careful with my health and like working out and doing all of the stuff that I need to do. I'm cutting out coffee and drinking mud water. I have a severe allergic reaction, but it is what it is. I guess it's not that severe because it doesn't hurt or anything, but I'm having allergic reactions again. So it is what it is. Mm. All right. So let's go to the mess now. Vivica Fox did an interview, and in that interview, she said that she does not have children because she did not find a man worthy of having children with. Now, the thing is, and this is a Black woman conversation, so for all the people like, you're always talking about Black women, you can exit stage left. I mean, you can. Like, if y'all didn't talk about it, we wouldn't be talking about it, right? So it seems like Black women can't win, right? If you have a child and the father leaves, right? There's absentee fathers, then you become a single mother, not by your bad action, right? Like, you're not a single mother because you had a child. You're a single mother because the dad left. Like, it is what it is. Like, that's just what that is, right? So if you decide, you know what, I'm not going to chance it, right? Like, I'm not going to do this right now. Then you're criticized and ridiculed because you decided, look, I have seen what's happening in the community and I don't want to be a part of that stats, right? So I'm just not going to have children because I found no man that I think is worthy of having a child with. Fair enough. Like, in my mind, fair enough. But Chantelle thinks differently. And we are going to watch some of what Chantelle says. Let's read some comments. I'm moving slowly. I need to slow down because I'm talking quickly and I don't know why. I don't blame her either. Themis has drank so much mud water, he's beginning to really like it. No, oh, I like it now, by the way. So I do half a cup of oat milk. Depending on what kind of sugar you want, you could use honey, but I'm trying to be more healthier anyways. The mud mix and hot water. Great. It is good. There is no jittery feeling going on that comes with coffee. All right, so let's watch. You can stop your monologue and exit stage left. Yeah, I know, I'm over it. I'm not gonna mess up my piece for people online that I don't know. Like, if you write a negative comment, I'm just going to look past it. I'm not gonna engage with you. I don't care. Like, life is too short for me to be here dealing with people who are delusional. This is also my decision. I determined I would not have a child until I was found by a worthy man to be a husband and father. Period. Like you can't say choose better and then people are choosing better and you are mad. Like, no, you don't have both, you don't get to have it both ways. Anyway, so let's go to Miss Chantelle. Chantelle is talking about Vivica. And I'm going to do a disclaimer in the beginning because we need to talk about something. But please don't call her. I mean, she calls herself a mammy, but please don't call her that here. Um, please don't drag her or any of that. It's fine. But we're going to talk because I completely disagree with her. Should I make it bigger or should I do it like that? I'll put it like that.
About the men. Hey YouTube, this is Chantelle and I use my channel to speak with women who genuinely want to be better at dating and relationships by understanding certain topics and certain talking points from men's perspective. Now I try to keep my channel as solution-based as possible. However, in order to get to the solutions, we gotta discuss the problems. And the problem we're gonna discuss in this video are older women who just cannot accept accountability, who cannot act.
Wait. Sorry. So, first and foremost, let me say, I am not pushing back against her channel. Like, I think there are women who, how do I put this delicately? There are women who see Black men as their men. Like they'll use phrase like our men, right? And that's fine. As a Black man, period, help, whatever. But I think reciprocity is important, right? But I don't think it's okay. Well, I would not feel comfortable shaming women who are going above and beyond to form relationship with these men in the manosphere, right? Like, I wouldn't want my daughter to do it. I would definitely be upset if I had a daughter and she was gung ho on creating relationships with men from the manosphere and talking about our men and all of that stuff, particularly in a society where Black femicide is a thing. Like, but I'm not going to shame other women for engaging in that behavior, right? So when women go to her channel, I think it's a niche channel. I think if you want to learn to be with manospheric men, then do that. Do that. I do you, right? So this is not about that. Like I'm fine. I'm fine with her and her channel and her teaching Black women how to be with their men. Period. All right. So this is not about that.
Knowledge, self-reflect, and take responsibility for the fact that they did not learn how to love and work with a man. And instead of self-reflecting and passing on this information to younger generations so they don't repeat those patterns, they will just rather blame the men. This video was inspired by a clip that I saw with Miss Vivica A. Fox. Someone asked her why she doesn't have any kids, and she said, oh, she's still fulfilled even without kids. And some way, somehow, she was able to turn the conversation and highlight that there are not a lot of men around, and she didn't find a man that she felt could be a good father. I'll post the clip right here so we can discuss it. Don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button to help me grow my channel. Let's watch it.
Please do not get me wrong. I absolutely love children. In my life, it was career over children. And I never met the man that I could have children with. I didn't. I almost made that mistake. And 3 months before, my family was like, you will not.
At 57 years old, you did not find not one.
Wait, let me stop there. I feel like that's accountability. Accountability for her life, right? This is a person who said, look, I did not find a man who could convince me to have a family with them. And so I, not wanting to have a child by myself, decided not to have a child because I did not find a man who proved to me that I should have a child with them. Fair enough. Like I feel like that's the kind of accountability that is being preached in the manosphere, right? Like it's saying, hey, if you cannot vet men, and if you are not vetting properly, it is your fault that you became a single mother. She's like, maybe she's not good at vetting, right? Maybe Vivica is not good at vetting, and she's like, you know what? I don't see it for these men, so I'm not gonna have a child. What? Why are you mad? I feel like that's hard on a woman first and foremost, particularly when everyone and the entire society is telling you that you need to have a child, you need to have a child, you need to have a child. That's your purpose in life, is to have a child. For you to say no, I am going to do what I think is right for me. And I don't believe these men around me, right? And she's a celebrity. So I'm assuming she's with celebrity people, and it's very difficult for a celebrity to date a regular person. So she probably sits there and say, yeah, nah, nah, none of this. I don't want none of this. I don't want no parts, right? I can have my fun. I can do what I want to do, but I'm not going to have a child. I feel like this is what we people were told, right? Anywho, let her continue, because I don't see anything wrong with this. I don't understand. Like, and I'm not saying women should or should not do what they want. Not my place, right? But for you to question someone else based on your moral standard seems a bit weird. It seems odd to me. Immature men go up to all levels of society. Yeah. So she's looking around and she's like, I don't want a regular guy, and the men around me seem to be trash. So I'm not going to do it. Not to say she couldn't find a good man, but she wasn't looking. She is like, I have career, I have this. I'm not going to be a quote unquote single mother. I I feel like that's fine. Anywho, let's continue.
One man that's worthy enough to have kids with, and then you don't realize that that's a problem. You don't realize that as a woman you were literally placed on earth to partner up with someone, to build relationship, to reproduce with someone.
Wait. So as a woman, your sole purpose, let me not say soul, let me not add random words. Your purpose in life is to partner with a man and have children. That is your purpose in life as a woman, based on Chantelle's Bible. Period.
And at 57 years old, you can confidently stand on a platform and say that you did not meet a man.
So let me bring this up. I actually saw her on the lead attorney's channel, and she was talking all of this stuff. And the lead attorney turned to her and said, wait, are you married? And she went quiet. And they essentially shamed her in the comments for not being married, even though she's on their side. Now, let me be clear. I do not think a relationship is a badge of honor, right? Actually, I think if you find love, you should fight for love. I think it's beautiful and it's amazing. And once you have it, you hold on to it with everything you have, and you be the best version of you for you and your relationship. It is what it is. I'm all for a relationship. But I recognize that not everyone might end up in a relationship. There are some people who also know that they're not going to dumb themselves down for anyone. And if there's a group of men telling you that you need to diminish yourself in order for them to be with you, you either decide to diminish yourself and be with them, or you go find other men. It is what it is. That's it. But it's interesting to me because she said she's dating now, right? She's dating. But when she went on the Manosphere's channel and she told them she wasn't married, they just dragged her. They weaponized the same thing that she's using against Vivica against her. Just an FYI, right? Someone says she is married to accountability. All right, let's continue.
Good enough to have kids with, and then you're pushing the blame that it's the men's fault, while you, a 57-year-old woman, did not learn how to love and work with a man.
What is this love and work with a man? Like, what is this? What is this? Like, all right. Jesus, take the wheel. I feel like this is accountability. Wait. Only Alyssa says, I want to drag, but I won't. A little support for the channel. So someone got mad at me because they said the only reason I don't want people to drag her is because she's Jamaican. Let me clear that up now. I've always said don't drag people. Like I've always said it. The people who get dragged are the people I think, and when I say drag, I think I got too accustomed to the word drag because I saw it on Twitter and people were talking about it, and I just thought it was such a fascinating way to talk about how you're going to respond to someone, right? I don't drag necessarily. I point out logical inconsistencies. I talk about the issues in your argument and things like that. But I like the word drag, right? I am not shielding her because she's Jamaican. This Alyssa didn't say this, right? I'm not shielding her because she's Jamaican. I don't like name calling. And to the extent we can quote unquote drag without name calling, I'm all for it. Like, let's be clear, drag me. I tell y'all to drag me in the chat a lot, like drag, but I just don't like name calling because I feel like it's reductive. But drag away. Tell me why she is the worst in terms of her messaging. Tell me why I am the worst in terms of my messaging and all of that stuff. I don't care. I just don't like name calling. You can name call me, but don't name call other people. I'm here. I've been called everything in this world but a child of God. Wait, Soft and Wet says, London, that's what I'm saying. She did a show with her husband just the other day. Wait, no, she said she's not married. No, she's not. No. I spoke to her. I spoke to her on her live stream because I went on her live stream because I thought she was wrong. So I went on her live stream to tell her she was wrong. And then I got dragged in the comments. I very much got dragged, and she said she was dating someone. So if she is married, she is also dating someone. So I'm talking about the need. Oh, sorry. All right, good. She's not married. Yeah, maybe she should partner. No, I went on this woman's channel to tell her that she was wrong, and her subscribers dragged me. Her subscribers were mad. When I said her subscribers were mad, our subscribers were mad. I was like, look, I don't know any of y'all. And even if you were here in my face, I would tell you you were wrong. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like we agree. No. Not team is marching down to the live stream. No, I saw her video pop up. No, not great story. I saw one of her video popped up and I was watching it. I was like, oh my God, this is wrong. This is definitely wrong. And she was talking about the 1950s and 40s and why women should forget about that and stop blaming men for abuse when that only happened in the 1950s and the 1940s, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, absolutely not. She definitely didn't just do this when I just read out the stats on Black femicide. So I'm like, all right, let me go over there. And I'm going to work and I'm literally on my way to the office, like not my home office, but the office. And she went live to talk about the video that I was just watching. Like she literally went live to talk about the video that I was just watching. Like that was God. God told me. I'm joking. Everything happened, but like I felt like this was the universe saying, you need to intervene, you need to help, you need to go talk. I will make a way out of no way, right? That's biblical. So God made a way out of no way, and I took the opportunity. I went all over there and I said, hey, I think you're wrong. Here is why. Girl, what? Why this woman got mad? Why these people in the chat were dragging me, calling me a feminist, which is not an insult. Saying I'm female identified, again, not an insult. I was like, okay, cool. These are all compliments on my channel. So I'm just going to reinterpret this energy, and it is a compliment. But then I asked her what was the problem in the Black community in terms of women being killed. And she said verbatim, she was not prepared to talk about this. She doesn't want to talk about it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So you made a stream talking about how abuse only took place in the 1940s and 1950s, type narrowcasting the subject line there. And you weren't prepared that someone was going to tell you that no, abuse might have happened in the 1940s and 50s, but it's still happening today. So when people are talking about abuse today, they're talking about abuse today. You were unaware and not ready to discuss the fact that abuse was happening today while you were making a live stream that abuse took place in the 1940s and 50s, and we should stop looking to the past. How? How are you not ready? What? What? Just no. Just no. Let's go tell Mr. Fox that. Let me find out that you are glutton for punishment. Not gluten, glutton for punishment. How they drag a woman that supports their talking points, I don't believe their own hype. No, yeah, I feel like they understand that a woman who accepts sort of the entirety of their message, the entirety of their message is someone who isn't being genuine, right? And they might be in there for the wrong reason. So if you sort of blank, right, just kind of accept what they're saying and regurgitate what they're saying, men who are smarter in the manosphere, who are peddling these ideas, are not going to accept you because, well, they know it's foolishness. Wait, is the pink pill here? Hi, Demon, just dropping in to say hi. Pink Pill, please let me know if you are available. I would love to get you on to talk, but if you're not, that's fine. I can send it to you, the link to you via Instagram if you are available. I would love to hear your opinion on this, but not me saying gluten instead of glutton.
The purpose why you were placed on earth. You should have been embarrassed to mention that you are not good enough for a man. That should have been embarrassing. But instead we hear how these women
Not me talking on mute. um, uh, Pink Pill. This lady is chastising Vivica because Vivica decided that she would not have children with anyone because she hasn't found a man worthy. Now that she's 57, this woman is dragging her for not having children, which is interesting because everyone is like vet man. And I'm like, yeah, vet. And she decides, you know what? I'm a vet. That's fine. That's good. But I am not going to have children because I couldn't find a man to have children with. And people are also having a problem with that. So you cannot win. I think my I was gonna say someone's name. I think a friend of mine would have said you can't win for losing. So that's it. Thank you, Themis. Can hear you clearly now. Thank y'all. I saw the mute button, and I was like, all right, I got it. I got it. I appreciate y'all. Let me continue.
Were clapping her on when she said that part. Notice how these women were praising her because she said that she did not find a man that's good enough. That's the dysfunction that we have in the Black community, and that's the dysfunction we have amongst Black women. Instead of looking in the mirror and saying, wait, why can't I learn how to work with a man? What's wrong with me? Why I can't get along with a man? We'll much rather say, oh, well, there are no men out here. It took me when I was around 27 to self-reflect when I got frustrated with my relationship patterns at 27. I started self-reflecting and started asking the hard questions. What is it about me? Why I can't attract a good man? And a lot of us Black women claim to be spiritual. We claim to be Christians. And if that's true, if you're going to claim to be Christian, then you know that water seeps at its own level. We know that we attract who and what we are. So if we are unable to find a good man, it says a lot more about us than it says about the man. And for having women to be clapping her on to the fact that she didn't find a good man and nobody's questioning, wait, sis, that means something is wrong with you. How the hell at 57 years old you don't find one man on this earth?
Look. Look, I'm here for accountability, right? If you believe the reason you are single is just because the problem is with you, where people said, take me off the bench. I sent you the link, Crystalline. I sent you the link on Insta. I can send it. I can post it in the chat. If you didn't see it on the Insta, I can post it in the chat. Let me do that. You are a beautiful, heart-centered being, and I admire your spirit. It's always soothing. First time commenting, new subscriber, got the recommendation to listen to you from Erica De Niro TV. Oh, I saw her. She was doing a review of Issa Rae today. I like that. Thank you. I enjoy people coming over. Let me pin that link at the top so that you guys can come on. We're at the part of the show now where people come on. I wanted the Pink Pill to come on first, but let me. It's Friday's show is going to be a mess, by the way. And it's going to be a mess because I think the lead attorney deserves to be criticized harshly, even if I'm not going to be the one to be vulgar in doing it. I do think he deserves to be criticized more harshly. While we wait for people to come on, let's continue. This is so irresponsible to put out. I can't believe she's spewing this type of stuff. Oh no, we're gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to play one of her video when Pink Pill come on. And it's the video where she's talking about we need to forget about the 1940s and 1950s. I already talked about this because it was like men were abusive then, not now. And it's like, I feel like you don't care about accountability. Um, oh, the pink pill is here. Let me pull her up. Hey,
Okay.
how are
Oh,
you?
I'm doing well. It's so nice to talk to you again. I haven't talked to you in a while.
I know. I've watched your last video about mental health like 5 times at least.
You did?
Yeah. I mean, it was so open, and I applaud you for it. I also applaud you. I wanted to sort of fan out a little bit on this, in that your video qualities have been spectacular, like just like pitch perfect.
Thank
So
you.
I appreciate that. But what is your reaction so far?
Well, this is such an interesting argument, but this is just um par for the course of what Black women have to go through, at least on social media. It is just the constant moving of the goalpost. If you have a baby and you're not married, you're a single mother, and you should just go somewhere and die.
You want
If you are, um, if you have chosen somebody and you become a mother and that doesn't work out, it's your fault because you should have chosen better. If you are a successful Black woman and you can't find somebody on par with you, your standards are too high and you should date down because you're not a size 4 or a 6, and you're not, you're not worthy of a high value man. You need to just be with the construction worker or 50 Cent. And then so you decide, okay, I'm going to do that. And then 50 Cent dogs you out, treats you like crap, and that's your fault too. And if you're not married by 57, it's because something is wrong with you. And it's not because only 43% of Black men marry at all. It's your fault. It's your fault that only 43% of Black men don't marry. They don't marry because you're not fit and feminine and friendly.
Oh, we're gonna get into the fit, feminine, and friendly foolishness tomorrow, because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Not tomorrow, but Friday. Because even these men who decided to marry out end up doing a lot worse. The first time I saw the stats was from you, actually, and then I went to look at it, where the single motherhood rate for uh, people who are interracially dating was way higher than for Black women as a percentage of the population that does it.
Oh
So, eh, I
yeah,
mean,
90%. This is crazy.
so we can continue to blame, and that's the thing. Like, these people are statistician overnight, and I'm here for that, right? Like, I'm here for you learning the math and whatever, but how does your conclusion ends with everyone else is the problem and not us, right? Like,
Oh,
and by
I
us, I
wasn't. I
mean,
wasn't finished. I wasn't finished saying all of the other things that are wrong with Black women because they're not married.
oh yeah, I mean, you're
Um,
also too educated. How dare you? Continue.
right. So, your degrees don't matter, and that's why you can't find a man because you lead with your degrees. If you don't have any degrees, you're a hood booger, and you don't deserve that. If you haven't found a man and you decide you want to interracially date, you're a bedwench and a traitor. Do you see what I'm saying? It is always the Black woman's fault. The Black woman, Themis, the Black woman is responsible for global warming, moon spots, the China and Russia conflicts, inflation, COVID. We are responsible for everything. We're responsible for everything. They say we don't want to be accountable. Yet, on these manosphere stages, these mockeries of farces, they take accountability for nothing. Everything is the Black woman's fault. There is no fault to be had for the men. So if Vivica Fox were to have been a baby mama, she would have been trash. She decided to keep her womb to herself, and she's still trash. Ladies, do you see the fuck shit? Do you
Yeah.
see the hamster wheel they want to keep you on? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and the thing is, I just saw a comment that I want to find. I need this comment. Yeah, here it is. Black femicide has always been high in Jamaica. That's not the comment. Someone said something about black femicide being high in Jamaica. I think so often, and I get a lot of critique because people think that when I talk about the issues facing the quote black community, I think they think it's like a sort of nationalized black community as opposed to a sort of global black community, right? I think globally we have issues. Like I've
And
never.
it is so sad. The video that you showed of the girl, she's a cute girl. She's attractive. And she has bought into hook, line, and sinker that it is her problem and it's her fault. And 10 years down the line, she's going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because she's pretty. She's a pretty girl. And she has bought into all of this mess. And in a decade or less, she's going to be on YouTube complaining and talking about divesting. She will. They always do. It's so funny to me because you have women who bought into this bullshit, because that's what it is. Bullshit, chicken shit, horse shit, all mixed up together in a toxic soup. And then when they realize, well, damn, I went through all this and I didn't even get a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Then they get mad.
Yeah. Hey, Deanne, I'm gonna Pink Pill. I want you to react to something else from her, but because you were the one who introduced me to Black femicide and really pushed it home for me that I need to understand this and I needed to talk about this. So I appreciate that, and I need you to see another video. It's like 5 minutes. I'll speed it up.
Okay.
But Deanne, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Themis and Chad, and Miss Carrison. Pleasure to
Hi,
be in your
Deanne.
present purpose. And I've watched some of your Pink Pill videos of the past and learned a lot. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm cooking, so I wasn't prepared for this today, so I really do have to. I always say I'm going to keep this short, so today I actually have to because I have something on the stove. Two things. Black men's making Black women responsible for everything is an admission of their own powerlessness. Because if I'm responsible for everything, I essentially become God. So you can't have it both ways. If we are responsible for the Anglo-American alliance of 1890, even though it is 2021, therefore, we have all power through space and time. If we are responsible for all international incidents, including global warming, like there was a report today that the Doomsday Glacier is within 5 to 10 years of breaking off. If we are responsible for that, we are God. And Black men are just powerless peons. I don't know if that's the impression that they're trying to leave, but that's not an impression that you put out if you want to be a worthy man to a woman like Vivica A. Fox, or any woman with any sense. That's number one. Number two, Chantelle is particularly pitiful in the true sense of the word, worthy of pity, because she does not understand. She is dealing with a population of men, and it's not all Black men, but it's enough in these spaces, who attempt to treat Black women the same way that white men treated Black people in general. No matter how hard a Black man worked, no matter how hard a Black woman worked as a slave, Their legal and social status was forever going to be that of a slave. You could not work your way out of that, even if you were what was called meritoriously manumitted. Well, you gonna go pick up a paying job in the respect of a slaveholding society the next day? No, you weren't. So your status was going to remain the same. Chantelle is trying to do what Black women are advised to do, to try to twist themselves into shape with a group of men that have decided that our humanity does not exist. But on one hand, they've left us no choice but to ascend to divinity. And I say that tongue in cheek because if we are not human and yet responsible for everything, we must be all goddesses and yet cannot get basic human respect. When you meet a man with this level of pathology, the wisest thing for you to do is to leave your womb closed. That is the only logical thing to do. And Black women who do not understand that at the age of 30 have the rest of their lives to figure that out, and they will. Chantelle's in the company of some very messed up individuals. And I have illustrated in just two simple ways. They think we have all power, and yet they cannot respect us as human beings. That, some real problems. You do not have children with people with that level of mental and psychological and emotional mess up. You simply do not do it if you want yourself and your children to have a life worth living. Okay, and that's all I have to say. I'm gonna drop that bomb and run because I have food on the stove. But I listen to this and I'm like, we are slaves and we're goddesses at the same time. Y'all absolutely insane. Just, there's no way around it. That's that.
Yeah, I don't know not anyone who says, please, please let me lead, make me king. It's like, no, it's either you are or you're not. Like, it's what it
that's
is.
it. That's it. And if you're not, then you're not. Then we can come and be, can we just be human beings? But as long as this kind of cognitive dissonance going on that I have to be responsible for everything, but I can't be treated as a human being, what are you really trying to do? Get back at your mom and beat her down the way you felt you mistreated you? You have to begin to ask these kind of questions.
Yeah.
Either way, no matter how you answer it, you cannot make a stable marriage or relationship with a person like this because the psychological problems that they are dealing with are just too big. It does not even matter what color the man is. There's some messed up men of other races. But right now we're talking about Black people. Men like this, no, don't have children with them. Don't connect with them because that level of cognitive dissonance will destroy everything they touch. Stay away. That's all you can do.
Yes. Thank you. Go make your food and send me pictures. I think you're under the Discord.
I'm going to be, what is it that I say here? I am currying chicken today as opposed to chicken curry.
Nice. Not chicken curry. Not chicken curry.
I heard you explain that. Have a good day, y'all.
Bye. One more and then we can go to the next video. Vitamin.
Hi there. I didn't want to. I'm doing well. You're looking glowy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I just wanted to say one short thing. Like, I think that the easy way to be able to tell where the goalpost is going to move is Vivica had a little bit too much dignity for them. When they speak about accountability and women, you have to be bowed, bent, and broken before you can be considered accountable in their eyes. You can't stand up and say, you know what? I'm not going to go through a bunch of stress and strain with you. I'm not going to allow you to victimize me, and I'm not going to give myself any reason to complain. But then the problem is you didn't give them an opportunity to exploit you. Yeah. So it can't be accountability in that sense.
Yeah. I feel like you have to be open and willing for exploitation, it seems. But even after they've exploited, it feels like they're still mad. Like how do you make someone more and better? You don't. That person has to do it themselves. Theme is out here just looking fine. I appreciate that. But yeah, I get you, Vitamin. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's funny because The video I made and published yesterday was literal. If you watched it to the end, it's I believe we can do better. Like that's fundamentally my stand. So it's just like I'm not hating. I would if I hate men, I would hate myself. It's not that. It's just like the lack of accountability, even to the point where we're blaming women who pass for their passing because this man decided to go and kill them. Like that is literally just bizarre at this point. I was going to give O'Shea Duke Jackson props, but then he removed the video because of all the hate and then blamed YouTube. I'm going to drag him tomorrow too. And not
Wait,
drag.
what did I miss? I'm missing all the tea on YouTube. What? O'Shea did
Oh.
what? And then
Oh, the
Oh.
girls are fighting.
Ah.
what? Okay, see, this is what happens when you step away from YouTube. You don't even see anymore. What happened?
So I'm not going to get too in detail with it right now, but this man killed his ex-wife and his ex-girlfriend, right? And killed himself in Maryland. And the lead attorney decided to talk about it, but completely reframed it to making the man a victim, right? And woe is me, and they did all these bad things to him. And when people are pushed up against the wall, they have to flip the table. And I'm sitting here like, is this an attorney speaking? Is this an attorney speaking?
No, this is not an attorney speaking. This is an
Literally blame that on
attorney.
murder victims for their own murder.
No, he's not. He's not an attorney speaking. He's an ashy black man speaking who just happens to work as an attorney. But that is what he is. And I can't stand to listen to him.
O'Shea
who can.
O'Shea also then made a video where he vehemently opposed kind of the rhetoric and said what the man did was wrong and it was bad. And I'm watching it thinking, oh my God, O'Shea Duke Jackson stood up against the manosphere. Oh, he deleted it. One, they were dragging him in the comments. Two, he then deleted it and then posted in the community tab saying that YouTube asked him if he was suicidal. I shouldn't have said the word, but whatever. And so he deleted the video. What?
Oh, so they asked him if he was suicidal because he stood up for something that was clearly wrong. Because here is the thing. Here is the deal. When you kill somebody, then they have no ability to ever make things right. If you perceived a wrong and you kill them, then you have eliminated any opportunity for any change to happen. You have taken into your hands the power to stop that person from breathing. So no matter what was done to you, when you kill somebody, then all of the things, listen, I am all for, listen, let me tell you something. I love Clint Eastwood. First of all, he was fine back in the day. Ooh, he was so fine. His son is fine too. And I would watch, what was that other Bronson, the Bronson guy? Look, I am all for evil people getting their comeuppance. I love it. But this is the case of a very weak man, who put himself into situations. Because let's keep it a buck. I read about the story. I didn't know what the O'Shea, I didn't know what people were saying on YouTube because I'm just not on here like that anymore. But he had a girlfriend who got pregnant, who he got pregnant. And let's be clear, he got her pregnant. She cannot get pregnant without his seed. He released his seed into that woman and got her pregnant. And there was something that he did that she said, no. And clearly there was something that he did to his ex-wife that also made her say, So we've got two women who said to him, who have borne his children, who have said, So what's going on with you, mister? What's going on with you? What is going on with you is you've got some issues that you need to deal with, but instead of dealing with them, you want to eliminate any possibility for negotiation, for mediation, for reconciliation. You have eliminated that. And you got 2 Bayesian persuasion women. Oh, yeah, that doesn't fit nicely.
No,
It does not fit nicely into the narrative, does it?
unless we're going to say all women, but you can't now say all women after dragging Black women for so long.
You
For
certainly
so
cannot.
long, and
You
then
certainly
deciding
cannot.
that you're going to compare them to every other group of women.
Let me tell you
His
something.
ex-girlfriend is who was Asian, by the way, just an FYI.
Let me tell you something. What is sad but also funny, and it would be funny if it weren't so sad, is that there was I think it was a female sociologist who came out with those statistics that said that non-Black women who have children with Black men that they are not married to mostly end up on WIC and welfare. But wait, though. Wait, I thought it was WIC and welfare that ran the Black man out of the home, though. So it's very interesting to me that these men are going to other races doing the same fuck shit
Yeah.
over there and killing them too, leaving them baby mamas too. So who really is the problem here?
Yeah.
Because I will tell you this. Me and other people paved the way for Black women to marry interracially in the thousands, maybe the hundreds of thousands. You know what studies I don't see? I don't see the studies that show that Black women who are in interracial relationships being on WIC and welfare. Did you? There are 425 people in the chat. Do y'all see any studies like that? I'm wondering, maybe I missed them. Where are the studies of the Black women who are interracially dating or interracially married who find themselves on WIC and welfare and raising babies by themselves?
Yeah. But by the way, when I said when I said they're not both Black, what I mean is that they are not both Black. This is the ex-girlfriend. So I'm not saying that this is not a cause for concern. I'm saying it is. And the cause for concern is we now no longer have this narrative that, well, if you go, well, we never had this narrative, right? If we go over into another race and everything is better, obviously that's not the case. But
well, I don't know. I would say for Black women, it is kind of better. It is kind of better. Next month, I'm going to do a video about 10 things Black women benefit from dating outside of their race. And I know some people are going to be mad, but oh well.
You want to know something interesting? I feel like, and I talked about Carl Jung yesterday, and the shadow self. And I want to be very clear about my stance. You and I talked about this previously too, where we're like, there are people who think because you're Black, there's something wrong with you, and that you're inadequate. I don't think that's the problem. Like, that has never been my belief. I think we coddle men, for example, in a way that makes them think about life and their experiences through a sort of a rose-colored lens that's cracked, right? Because the crack is the system is bad. But they see themselves as kings and rulers or whatever you want to call it. And that's fine if you are planning to live up to that. And so often the conversation stops at the conversation and there's no additional action to meet these requirements, because it would be great if we recognize that post-traumatic slave syndrome is real and maybe we're suffering from it. Okay, we can admit that if you want. I don't know if you believe that. Then how do you fix that? Because you don't fix that by terrorizing your own communities.
Well, here's the thing, Themis. I have been recently diagnosed with PTSD. And it explains a lot. It explains a lot. But now that I know, if I don't do anything about it, that's on me.
Yeah.
That is on me. Because if I find out this thing that is going on with me and I don't choose to address it, then that is then my responsibility. So if you know that you have these things that are going on with you and you want everybody to bend to your will and to accommodate your psychology without doing anything, that means you don't want to change and you like it. You like being the recipient of that pity. And I'm sorry, you cannot be pitiful and also be an alpha king. You can't. You cannot. If
Yeah.
you cannot simultaneously say that you are powerless, your women will not allow for you to lead. You've got these post-traumatic stress disorders, you've got white supremacy, you've got racism and all of these other things. And all you do is sit and complain about it and you don't do anything about it, then you are not in the space. You don't have the range to lead people out of a brown paper bag.
Right. I'm gonna. I hope. By the way, Pink Pill, please don't leave. But I hope you can also come back on Friday if you can. It's fine, because I'm gonna stop talking about this now because I wanna I I want to talk about this in more detail on Friday. That's the live stream, because when I say if you listen to the lead attorneys live stream and you don't feel disrespected as a human being, not even just as a black person, as a human being, right? If you don't feel disrespected by the lack of accountability and the changing of the narrative, then I don't know what to tell you. But I think that I really, really think that it would be beneficial for us to talk about it in
Oh,
detail, part
I
by
would
part.
anything for you, Themis.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to go quickly to the video from Chantelle, and then I'll have people on the panel talk. You can ask me a pink pill question, but I'm going to play a part of this video before we come back, because I learned about Black femicide through the Pink Pill when she was going to Atlanta to speak at a Black femicide march that almost didn't happen because the people in Georgia were pushing back, saying that it would distract from the broader narrative of Black Lives Matter, because this is going to be intraracial killing. So that was a mess. But this is what Chantelle had to say about. I'm not going to play my part where I told her she's wrong, but I'm going to play her part again so that we can get some more reaction and you guys can talk about anything except for the TLA situation until Friday.
To give them. These men that we have here in 2021 weren't the ones that was beating their wives in the 40s and 50s. Hello YouTube, and this is Chantelle, and my channel understanding certain topics and certain talking points from men's perspective. I try to keep my page as solution based as possible. However, in order to get to solution, we have to highlight the problem. And the problem we're going to talk about in this video is how many of us, especially Black women, have adopted that mindset that men were so abusive in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s. We have this mindset that the patriarchy was so bad and men were so abusive, so we have to be on our P's and our Q's. And this was influenced by a comment I received on the video I talked about the toxicity of Miss April Mason's talking point, because Miss April mentioned very similar talking points. And I'll post a comment right here as I read. If you guys haven't already, please go ahead and hit that like button. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button to help me grow my channel. Now the comment reads, read your history, young lady. A man of any race could legally beat their woman until the laws were changed in the 70s. I was born in 67. How does Miss Mason explaining what she saw her mother experience equate to shaming all men? To answer the question, all right, how Miss Mason explained what she saw equates to shaming all men, because we're still bringing it up. It's 2021. If we want to move forward, if we want to see better, we want to do better, we are going to have to enter relationships with men in good faith. We can't enter relationships thinking of what men in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s did. We can't enter relationship holding that over our men in 2021. And this is a narrative, this is a talking point that so many women push back on. So many women who claim that they're not feminists, claim that they want to do better and see more two-parent households in the Black community. The same grace that we expect our men to give us is the same grace that we're supposed to give them. These men that we have here in 2021 weren't the ones that was beating their wives in the 40s and 50s. And just like how we want to learn from our ancestors' mistakes, we want to learn from our parents' mistakes and not repeat those patterns. Let's give these Black men the same grace and assume that they too want to learn. I'm not arguing if men were abusive or not. There's some arguments that says,
Oh, let me play.
The feminist movement, when they talk about the patriarchy, they weren't even talking about Black men, because Black men weren't abusing their wives. Black men weren't doing the same thing in their household that these white men were doing. This video is not to talk about that point. What I'm discussing is the mindset that we as Black women enter into these relationships. We enter these relationships with our guards up because the men in the 40s and 50s used to beat their wives. And then we have people like Miss April Mason, who's teaching these women, oh, be successful, secure your bags, have your own, because the men in the 40s and 50s were abusive. What the hell does that have to do with the men in the 2021s? All right. And I had a
So,
Hey, Themis, I gotta just say something really quick.
Go ahead.
Please.
Yeah.
So her argument is oh my god. Okay, my head hurts. Okay, so her argument is that we can't hold Black men responsible for the men who were abusive in the 40s and 50s. Am I hearing that correctly? That's interesting. Yet, put a 1 in the chat if you have heard the manosphere say that the reason why the Black community is effed up is because Black women in the 60s threw out the Black man for Wiccan welfare. Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard that argument. So we can't hold Black men responsible for the 40s and 50s of how they would beat the hell out of their women, because it's not the 40s and 50s anymore. But we can still hold Black women who were born today responsible for Wiccan welfare in the 60s? Can somebody please explain to me the logic? I'm not understanding.
Well, it won't be Wiccan welfare anymore. It's going to be the $850 that Georgia is. Let me stop.
But here's the thing: the level of hypocrisy, and this is why I love spouting facts and statistics. I love it, because how are you going to argue? I've been listening to these Negroes for 12 years, and they have been blaming the entire demise of the Black community on Wiccan welfare and what Black women did back in the 60s. But this woman, and she's cute too. Why are you so cute, girl? And you are so dumb. I'm sorry. You know what? Here's the thing. Somebody that cute and accommodating, fit and friendly. Where's her husband at?
Oh, see, that's the thing though. Like, and I know, I don't know.
Where is her 6-figure husband? Where is her high-value husband? How come Kevin Samuels has not found a man for her? Kevin
Yeah.
Samuels, come get your girl. You need to find a man for her.
Yeah. The thing is, and it's I recognize that this is not, you are not shaming her, right? And this is not shaming because she doesn't have a husband. But if you're feeding into the manosphere's talking points, then you open yourself up to these kind of critiques. Like,
bingo, because here's the thing. I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying, look, if she is, I mean, she's a cute girl and she's completely bought into the rhetoric. Where is her high value man? Where is her 6-figure man? How come Kevin Samuels has not found this woman a husband? And this should be a lesson for you. No matter how feminine you are, no matter how masochistic you are, no matter how self-flagellating you are, you still ain't gonna get no man.
but these same men talk about what white men did in the 1800s. Thank you for your super chat. I think I missed the super chat earlier. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Kier 1010.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah, the pink girl, she was saying a lot of stuff. You just kind of popcorned me. That was quick.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. It's just I really would love for people to just stop telling everyone when they see something crazy in a chat or when someone says something, oh, he's just trolling. If you don't know this person, they're not trolling. Take them for what they say as the utmost seriousness. I'm being honest here. Don't be stupid. If you don't know this person, do not say that they're just trolling. That is the most dumbest thing I've ever heard. I'm like, you don't even know this person. And then when I say, well, do you know this person? And they're just sitting there like crickets. I'm like, yeah, you don't even know them. So why in the world are you assuming that what they're saying they're not being dead serious for? We've got people out here killing their wives, killing their sisters, killing their moms, killing their kids. Right now is not the time for you to be telling people, oh, people are just trolling. It's not the time. You need to get a lot more serious. We've got kids we got to take care of. We got kids we got to guard. We are the adults. You can't be running around here acting like this with a chicken with your head cut off. And this whole, if women don't want to have children, they don't have to have children. Looking at the collective of the male gender, do you seriously want more people having kids and messing them up? That's what you want. A bunch of people pushing out a bunch of kids and then them sending them in the world and then we have to deal with them.
Exactly, Kier, because here's the thing. You are being blamed. You are, it's your fault if you don't have kids. It's your fault if you do have kids. It's like, there is no winning. There's absolutely no winning. They don't want you to win. The game is rigged. Like, my God, the goalpost keeps moving. My daughters play soccer and the goal stays in one place. And everybody is focused on getting to the goal that stays in one place. Can you imagine if somebody was getting up, every 2 seconds, moving around that goal and the poor goalie has to go. I mean, it just keeps moving and moving and moving. The goal stays in one place. In this situation, the goalpost is moving every 5 seconds. And for the person in the comment section who is saying that I'm name calling people, I'm not naming calling anybody. I said she's a cute girl. She wants to be married to a high value Black man. She deserves to, according to what the manosphere says, is what they want. Where is her husband? So they all need to be putting together a collection plate or something, a GoFundMe or something to get this woman a husband. That's all I'm saying. And the names that I did call, and the names that I did call them, I don't take it back. I said what I said.
Read my other chat and invite Chan up there and say it to her face and stop being scared. I don't know what you're talking about, person. Thank you for your super chat. The link is at the top. I am not going to have you up here disrespecting anyone. So that's just an FYI. But if you have something to say, you're welcome to come on. There will not be a yelling back and forth with anyone. I promise you that much. Sorry.
Oh, I'll just go ahead and continue. Bottom line is they're going to treat you the same way, whether regardless you are yourself or you're pretending to be this entity that they want you to be. At this point, who cares? They're going to treat you the same way. So you may as well just do what you want to do. And by the way, just as a caveat, so that way everyone is on the same page here, we have everyone in the world telling us about Black women, who they are, and what they should be. But yet, coincidentally, no one has the nerve or the balls to actually go up to Black women and find out the answer for yourself. Every other ethnicity on the planet just wants to assume the persona of the Black woman and then take that for what it is. No, you cannot do that. If no one else wants to be quote unquote generalized and they want everyone else in the world to see them for their entity of their gender of what they are, and they want you to go out and actually interact with them themselves, then Black women deserve to have the same thing. I am not about to be subhuman, period. I'm like, I am the original. Without the original, there is no copy. All these women are running around here. I'm looking around like, why do you look like me? You weren't born in the shape that I was born. You weren't born with the melanated skin that I was born in, yet you conveniently look like me. But yet so many of you men are over here, let's just be honest, you got a hard on them for all these women, but yet they look like conveniently like me, but yet I'm the most undesirable woman in the world. That's a lie.
Yeah. Yeah. So Chantelle, you are amazing. Themis, I don't want smoke, just being nice. Well, I mean, you can be nice over on her channel to her, right? Like, I feel like, Dean, please come up if you can, because I actually want to ask a man if they actually think she is correct. Because I don't want to be the odd one out, thinking that the way in which I perceive her message might not be the best way to perceive it. So maybe there is a man who hears her and says, "Yeah, yeah, that's correct. Men aren't beating women. Men aren't killing women. Men aren't doing anything." That was in the 1940s and 50s. And even then, it wasn't actually Black men, it was white men. And then Black women just took over the white feminist talking points and put that on Black men. Like, I actually want to hear if that's what Black men believe, or if they're just like, "Yeah, she rubbed my ego and it feels good." But you know what I mean? Like, I want to know why Black men are like, "Oh, you know what? Nothing bad. We do nothing." Like, do Black men, do we believe we do nothing bad? That's what I want to know.
And also I would like to know if this is something that happened in the 40s and 50s, how come in 2021 every Black woman every 6 hours a Black girl or woman is being killed by 99% of the time?
Oh yeah,
People
well,
just like her.
I went on her channel, and I probably should play that part of the live show. I'll just play it for you. But anyway, Dean is here. I want to talk to Dean. Dean, do you agree with Chantelle?
Do I agree with her regarding the 40s and 50s?
Yeah.
I understand what she's saying, but I just want to say I'm not trying to cause any problems.
Yeah, no, you're fine. We've interacted, but I this is part of the problem that I have. So you get what she's saying. What is she saying to women when she says, "Stop blaming men for the 40s and 50s. Those were back then, and they weren't even Black men. These men aren't the men who abused these women in the 1940s and 50s." What do you get from that?
What I get from it is that she's trying to, and I think this happens on both sides. She's saying that you're applying a historical narrative to a modern context. Like how people say Black people aren't slaves anymore.
Yes. So I think we could disagree on this some more, but I won't. Let's move. But that's not what people are saying. She narrowcasted the conversation to the 1940s and 50s. What is happening now is abuse that is taking place in contemporary America and across the world. So I don't understand why she's saying to ignore the 1940s and 50s, which even if you do, we have 2020 when the FBI report released that 4 women were killed per day. I mean, Black men were also being killed, 25 Black men per day. So I don't understand. What do you understand again from that?
So I'm not really passionate. Like I like her because she's Jamaican, right? So like I have my biases. I told you about that. So that's kind of like that's where I was coming from. It
Oh,
wasn't.
stop lying. You like her because she's cute. It's okay. I think she's
Oh
cute
well,
too.
is that pink pill?
Yeah.
Well, I like you too because you're cute. So what's the what do you mean?
I'm
But
not. Listen, it's not a judgment. I was just saying you like her because she's cute. Men are visual. It's okay. That's all I'm
No,
saying.
but that's the thing though, and that's what I'm trying to like unravel. Because like even for me, I beg subscribers to call me out when I'm wrong. Don't let me get away with things when I am wrong. This is not okay. Like content creation is just fun online, whatever, but it does sometimes have implications for people like listening and learning from this information. So when you say you like her because she's Jamaican, you've said the same thing about me previously, and I said, please don't do that. I mean, I appreciate it, but also take me for what I contribute and for whatever it is that I'm doing. Because if you call me out a lot on this channel, you are mostly wrong, but you call me out on this channel, you pretty much brushing off the fact that she is ignoring that people are being killed. But like she's like, don't
I'm not
think
brushing it off.
you are though, because you're
No,
saying you understand what she is saying in the context of her telling women to not engage in relationship with this in their mind that they should be able to provide for themselves
Themis,
in case this happens.
I have never brushed off the notion of black femicide ever, never, never ever. Now
Yeah.
I might disagree with how things are packaged in terms of solutions, saying in terms of that's a different issue, but I've never
Okay.
disregarded that.
All right. Well, I am glad to hear you say that. I really am. I hope that more people will go and when they're on other people's channel, even mine, because I think I have to foster a community where people feel like they can disagree. So that's great. But it seems like everyone is in a bubble. And Chantelle, I know she's in a bubble because when I went over there to push back, she literally was flustered from a very, very simple question, like an extremely simple question. So it feels like these people are just pandering. I'm accused of pandering, but at least if you think I'm pandering, it is done with people objecting. She's not getting a lot of objection there. And you saying you like her because she's Jamaican, I feel like it's a cop out because what she's doing is actually harmful. I think
So
what she said is harmful.
it's not a cop out, and I'll tell you why. I've done this on other places too. Like I'm trying to make a nice pleasant atmosphere. So when I see them saying, "Oh, she's a bumbleclot mammy," I'm just basically just countering that just to be nice. That's all. Like that's all I'm doing.
Yeah. I mean, you when you defend me, if you defend me, please defend me on the things that I'm right about. Don't defend me generally because what this lady's doing, I think is ultimately harmful. Now, again, I say this: if you want to learn to work with your man and be a better woman for these manosphere dudes, do that. It's fine. You can listen to her content. But when she says something that is factually inaccurate, hopefully she gets a ton of pushback. Crystalline, why are so many sisters getting bumped off by these funny built daddies since they're so great? I think it was all good in Mayoland.
Oh,
When
Themis, can I take this one?
you can actually, yeah, you can take it because this person probably don't even actually know the stats. Because for you to say something like that, you're going to get dragged because the stats aren't actually on your side. Go ahead.
So many Black women are getting bumped off by white men. That's funny. That's really funny that you would say that. But thank you for your $5. And I just want to take a moment to say that there are over 400 people in here. Can y'all please hit the like button so that Themis can get more traction with the algorithm.
Oh, thank you.
So I just want to take a moment and just say, everybody who's in here, like it or dislike it. If you dislike it, we ain't gonna see it anyway. But like it and help him out. What is very interesting, I want to talk about pandering for a second. So Themis, you are being accused of pandering to Black women.
Yep.
And who accuses you of pandering?
People pandering to Black men.
And so that was my point. So it's only pandering when you don't like who the person is pandering to. So this cute little Jamaican girl isn't pandering though. I mean, because if you don't like pandering, you don't like pandering but you like her pandering because it suits you. It suits you and your position. But I want to say this. For all of the Black women panderers, and this is not for them. This is not for them. I'm not speaking to them. I'm speaking to the men who love them. Swoop these women up and marry them. Otherwise, they out here looking stupid because they are carrying and internalizing your message points and single AF, just like all the rest of the women that you say ain't shit. So I would believe you more if the women who you say are on your side are getting swooped up. How come the European panderer of the Black manosphere has not been swooped up? She's at the danger zone. She's 25. Why have y'all not gotten together and figured out how you can find this woman a husband?
So, Themis, I wanted to comment on that super chat, that troll chat.
Uh-huh.
So, and those are, that's an interesting European, 25-year-old European, and it's okay for women to be signaled. Like I don't get why that's a badge of like a rite of passage. But back to that troll chat, the young man, I'm assuming he's a Black man, is a little confused and probably not showing his self-worth. It's a very immature comment. What about the zaddies? That's like a tit for tat type of thing that I've been seeing with this, and it's probably coming from a place of hurt. Like he probably didn't get the attention that he wanted from somebody, or something like that. So, like those type of comments, when a man does that, it's like, oh, what about these zaddies beating y'all up? It doesn't really make sense to me, because it's almost like you're putting the white guy above you in a sense, like, oh, or even when they say, oh, it's their preferences, like you're putting the white woman or whatever above you in a sense. It's like a weird thing that happens there. So, I would just say, just comments like that, people just should grow up and look at things a little bit more objectively.
Sorry, there was a static in the someone said, Dean, the queen gaslight.
Yeah, they always called me a gaslighter. See, the thing is, with this new influx of people coming here, they they have this sick mentality, and they just like name calling. They don't like to critically think. They even called for Harriet blah blah, blase blah, and it's specifically that Teresa person. But I'm not gaslighting. This is just me being honest.
I mean, but as long as we know that your truth isn't the truth, I go back and forth with how to interact with men on this chat, and this is why. On one hand, I recognize something that you said as fundamentally true. The person who commented just now about white daddy, I actually agree with you on. I do think that person is hurt. He probably feels unwanted, unloved, all of that stuff. And the idea that Black women are leaving or whatever, or saying it, even if they're not, bothers him, right? And so he's interacting with us in the way that he's doing for attention. In the past days, I would have spoken to him I would have attempted to get to understand something about him and learn. Then I realized all these people are just here to waste my time, right? And troll. So I've decided not to do it. I'm pretty sure Winter Grace might be. Let's see who's Winter Grace. Hello, Winter Grace. You're on mute. Oh, all right. Um, so I mean, I would have once upon a time engaged more meaningfully. Anne, go ahead.
Oh, hey, Themis. Hi, everyone. I've never heard of this Chantelle girl, and the way she's speaking, I feel like she's dangerous to herself. It's dangerous to herself to have this type of mentality of of abuse only happen in the 40s and 50s when we have seen reports of 4 Black women and girls are killed or murdered daily in today's time.
Hmm.
And we all know who the main perpetrators of those homicides is. So for her to say that, it's like she's rejecting the truth of the world we live in today. And we can't do that. And it's dangerous for herself because I feel like that opens up her to being sucked into a relationship of abuse because
Yeah.
she has taken a position in herself to say everything is her fault as the woman. And that is dangerous because I actually know someone who's actually going through that right now. And it's just like she has taken all the accountability of everything wrong in the situationship that she's in with her situation. You can call it her partner, and he has laid hands on her, but apparently it's all her fault as this Black woman that she's not submissive enough to him. That's why he had to lay hand on her, and we've talked to her and saying this is not good for you, but then her defense is that we are just unhappy with ourselves and we don't want her to succeed. And these are the women that I think are going to be drawn to someone like Chantel's channel, these women who just want to be in a relationship with a man, any man, just to say they have one. So
Yeah.
they're pandering to these men who have these abusive ideals of relationship about submission, which it translates to control, because they don't understand the meaning of submission even within the Bible, because men and women submit to each other. But let's not talk about that because that's not the point. That doesn't
Fit the narrative.
yeah, they don't, it doesn't fit the narrative of what
You
they
want to
are
know
saying.
something? I actually like. I realize that most of her subscribers are men. If it was only men, I would actually kind of appreciate her content because then I could say, you know what? She's just scamming these men.
Mhm.
Like, there's a part of me that's like, she has to know. She has to know what she's doing, right? And if she does, and she's willfully harming other people, I think that's the problem. But like, if if she's if she only had men, like if she only, I wouldn't care. Because if you want to throw money at someone to hear what you want to hear, that's on you. Like that's literally on you. But I feel like women. So I did this review of going down the incel rabbit hole and how people get radicalized, right? And what tend to happen is a well-meaning person goes online because they're going through an issue and they find a video that speaks to this issue and they keep going down the rabbit hole getting more and more recommendation because of the YouTube algorithm and what you watched previously. And then this person who just got his heart broken by a girl, a woman, right, ends up on the other end just absolutely hating these women. And it's like, well, in reality, what would have happened is you would have met the woman, got your heart broken, pick yourself up and then figure it out and move through life that way. Instead, now there is a place to harbor and fester that real, actual hurt and turn it into something that is now insidious. At the point where people are talking about how death is a good thing and that's him flipping the table, that's the problem. So when I see women also coming in and co-signing some of this, like if you believe women should be submissive and you're church-based and all of that stuff, do you? More props. Mahogany said a well-manicured fist of solidarity, period. I'm here for it. But you don't get to misrepresent reality. Like that's something you don't get to do. And this is what is happening. Like she's literally sitting there in front of a camera telling you that DV is not happening. How is that any different than Kevin Samuel saying this is the color purpling of the Black community? Something she repeated verbatim.
And the fact that she's repeating what he said verbatim is also speaks to her not thinking for herself. And she has been consumed by this narrative and internalized it, that she's just repeating what she's hearing. She's not doing her own research or critical thinking on her own to understand, wait a minute, does this really make sense?
Yeah.
She ended up in that rabbit hole as well. She probably went on to find a video about somebody made her feel insecure about being 30, because I believe she's probably 30 by now, because when she said she was 27, a couple of years ago, she was 27 in the first video. And she was saying, oh, she was 27 and she was wondering why. And I believe somebody in the chat said she's 30 now. And when women are being shamed for being 30 and not married, she probably went online to one video about marriage and Black women, and she ended up in the rabbit hole of the manosphere telling her why everything is wrong with her.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't believe it, but if she doesn't believe it, that means she's also being disingenuous. Themis, did you change? I got distracted, LOL. I know that I wasn't talking about me, but I have changed. In my time on YouTube, I came in here not as a social justice warrior, because I make fun of social justice warriors in undergrad, and then I realized they had a lot to teach me, but I came on here with every intent to talk about the system and how horrible the system is, particularly as it relates to Black people. I legit had every intention to do it. I still do it. The problem is I keep running up against, I'm trying to put this delicately, issues within our community that no one wants to take accountability for. And by no one, I mean the people who should be taking accountability for it aren't. They are brushing it off to everyone else. If I don't actually believe men are supposed to be the natural leaders. I really don't. So there's the feminist. But if you believe it, because so many men believe it, then you don't get to blame women for how the community is. You just don't. But even if we believe in an egalitarian society, the people who are doing the harm or causing the harm are of the group that is the men, right? And so we have a responsibility, if we're going to be marching for Black Lives Matter, which I fundamentally believe you should. I don't care if you want to or not, I would. But if you're going to do that for 8 men in a year, then we're going to have a problem if 4 women per day does not move you to march, right? Like, I mean, there's an inconsistency there. The promotion of the protection of Black men and disregarding Black women is just not right for me. Like, I cannot with good conscience do that. So in some ways I have changed, because now I'm focused on that. And then I ran into the manosphere. And when they started talking about education doesn't matter, it was over. It was done. Like, no, we're going to talk. So that's how and why my content has been very precisely focused on what is happening intraculturally. And I do talk about the system too. I hope that was a long-winded answer, so I apologize. Go ahead. Vitamin.
I think she meant the jacket.
Huh?
Your clothes, she meant, did you change your jacket?
Not me giving a dissertation on something no one asked. I put on a jacket because I turned. It's kind of cold now. Since that is so good, why is Morgan and another zaddy that killed his girlfriend's son and let the body rot in the apartment for a year not being talked about? Invite Chantelle up to defend herself. The way, I don't know what you're talking about right now, but the last part about Chantelle, I've said this many times. If I ever brought your name up on this channel, you have the right, the absolute right to come on and defend yourself. Any person that I've ever spoken about can come on. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will not be making a separate video though. You're gonna come up when I go live and we're gonna talk. So that's that on that.
Themis, it's really bothering when a black man refers to a white man as zaddy, because zaddy is a derivative of daddy. And there's a particular YouTuber, Tariq Nasheed, who does it all the time. And I really don't like Tariq Nasheed. I mean, obviously he's very anti-immigrant, so I'm biased there, right? But it's a derivative of the word daddy. So you, by saying that, are putting yourself lower or in a subordinate position to that white person. So like it's just crazy to me that some of these guys say that.
Yeah, Tariq Nasheed, actually, I played a video of him where he said, white zaddies giving women $850 in Georgia. Where is mine? And it's like, wait, you want a white zaddy? Like, I'm confused. I'm confused. Anywho, only Alyssa.
Can I speak to that?
Please do.
Hello?
Please do. Wait, go ahead, Pink Pill, then only Alyssa.
Okay, it's a lot of feedback. I'm not sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I was listening to a live stream between two manosphere people, and one of the guys was talking about how he, has been doing, doing this YouTube thing for 6 years or so. And the men in the manosphere were really anticipating what was similar to, how some Christians believe the second coming of Jesus. They were like, Black women are about to be humbled. Winter is coming, and blah, blah, blah. And so this man decided that he was going to sell his YouTube channel. And none of the men in the manosphere wanted to buy it, but a woman bought it, and he just let her have it. I don't know how much he gave it to her for, but he let her have it. And he was like, man, I don't know, because, I got these aunties who are like, 50, and they still have these men out here thirsting for them. And they still like that wall thing. I don't know, man, these men out here thirsting. And it's like, are you mad because women have the mobility beyond what you say? Does it make you mad that your 50-year-old auntie can still get a man? Like this whole Armageddon, this whole Black woman relationship Armageddon that they have all been, virtually standing on the street corner saying was coming. Winter is coming. Armageddon is coming. Black Jesus is coming to humble all you Black women. It hasn't happened. It's like those people in 1999 who said that 2000 was going to be the end of the world, and they were like, it's going to be the end of the world. And then 2000 came, and 2001, 2002 came, and now we're getting ready to go into 2022, and Jesus ain't come yet. They're all kind of confused. So this whole idea that what they are doing is going to force Black women to then have to come begging back has not happened. Are you mad, bruh? That Crystalline and people like Crystalline can be 48 years old with 4 kids and still be pulling CEOs and vice presidents, and like, are you mad, bruh? It's not working out the way you thought. Jesus didn't come like you thought it was. The alien ship didn't come and pick you up.
You want to know something interesting? I've said this before multiple times on this channel, because the whole education thing and Black women leveling up, and the pushback against that was what prompted me to say, this is wrong, right? But the Mahogany Pink in her video pointed out something really important, because everyone, they're like, people want to do all these things to get you back to them, except leveling up themselves, right? Like they will shame and do everything possible to get you back, but they will not level up. I guess until everyone leaves, and they have to. But it is weird to be in a culture that shames women for their degrees and blame the issues in the community on women because of their degrees, right? Instead of, I don't know, criminal behavior, mass incarceration, like instead of the actual things that have a direct relation to the breakdown of a community, right? Instead of those things, we just went to women, right? Like, women, how dare you get a degree? Feminism is what got you here. Okay, sure, feminism. All right, let's not do feminism. Can you provide for the entire family? No, you can't. Okay, then you like feminist. You are a feminist. Next question. Only Alyssa, I love that you said that, by the way. Only Alyssa, go ahead. Did you speak just now? I don't remember. I think I might be at
Hello.
All right, Aretha, go ahead.
Hi. Good night.
Good night.
So I'm Jamaican and I'm still living in Jamaica. So I
Yes,
just want
Jamaica.
yes, Jamaica. So I just wanted to make some comments based on Jamaican culture, based on what I know, I've grown and seen. And because I came on the live and I heard you guys speaking about this young lady that is Jamaican and pandering basically to men to make it seem as if she's doing something wrong and that is why she's not in a relationship. Hope I didn't get that wrong.
Yeah.
But based on if she's Jamaican and she understands, like coming from a culture here where women are not being turned into wives here, no matter what they do, no matter how educated they are, no matter how submissive they are, no matter if they have a high color, if they're brown or if they're black, right? We live in a culture where the common law relationship is so prevalent to the point where the government had to take it upon themselves to create a law where common law wives that are women that are living with men that are not married, that common law wives would be entitled to something if they live with the man for 5 years or more. And then the relationship ends because they realize that the men are not marrying the woman. And so they had to put it in the law to protect the women in circumstances like these. We have a high single mother rate here in Jamaica. You have women with multiple baby daddies, no father around. You have men having women in all parishes, in all 14 parishes. You have, and it doesn't matter who they are because there is this thing where it's hard to trust, for example, if the man is a soldier or a police, because more than likely, if he is in this profession, he has a second home, like literally a second home, where neither woman knows about each other and is fully immersed in these two homes. So it's like, I want to know, coming from a Jamaican culture where you see women are being used like this, they are not being married, so they are bearing children, the men are not staying in the homes. They're not protecting the women. The women are being abused. Statistics came out the other day where since the pandemic, the pregnancy rate for teenage girls have skyrocketed. The pregnancy rate for teenage girls plus molestation has skyrocketed. And these are being done by men, the neighbors, the uncles, whoever. All of these things, plus the femicide rate is higher in Jamaica. So what is it that women here in Jamaica is doing wrong to be treated like this?
See, this is not, and that's the thing. Like, people keep like, oh, don't talk about Black American thing. You're not a Black American. This is not a Black American, like, isolated thing. This is happening globally. There is a problem, and we need to figure it out and solve it. So this, I'm glad you brought this up.
Yes, yes, because here in Jamaica, as a woman, if I should have a child right now, I'm in my 30s and I don't have a child, thank God, because I looked at the people around me and I said, I will never just have a child out of wedlock like that. I'm not going to lay myself like that just to bring a child and the man is going to walk out of my life, right? But if I should have a child, I have to watch that child around the men in the communities and the surroundings, because the molestation rate for boys and girls here in Jamaica is very high.
I went to school for a bit in Jamaica, and these girls would date these grown men. And I thought it was the most disgusting thing in the world, because in my mind, I just saw abuse. That's how I interpreted it in my little child mind. And I just, and we tend to just kind of cover it up. When I came to the US, it was the same thing. I didn't see this, I heard about it mostly. And people in the family cover up the abuse that's happening in the family by grown men in the family. So I'm glad you brought it up from a Jamaican perspective, because even Chantelle, when she's talking, it's like she's completely unaware of the abuse that is happening globally to women. And it's so disingenuous that it feels like obviously you are wrong. Like, obviously you have to know what is happening. This is not something where it's up for interpretation. There's no interpretation. It's just bad behavior that is facilitated, perpetuated, and even coddled because of the way in which we sort of infantilize grown men.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is what it is. That's literally what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
because
go ahead. Sorry.
hello.
I know you. Yeah, go
Because
ahead.
one of the main reasons why females here in Jamaica make it a point of duty to get their education and to work, some don't, but the majority do, is because one of the main reasons they do that is because they do not want to depend on a man, because based on what they see going around them, if they depend too much on a Jamaican man, it may backfire on them one way or the other.
Yeah. Sorry, Themis, I had to leave the panel. My phone died. No worries. Let's move to I think KD. All right, KD, let's hear it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, good evening, everyone. I just want to start off by saying that I don't know if you made this point earlier. I kind of came in a little later and missed a few things, but basically what Chantelle, that the lady's name that is basically dismissing the domestic violence, or DV, I'm sorry, is basically what you talked about in your video, I believe, last night, about protecting the Black man's image. And I completely have I'm completely thankful for channels like yours. I was very much not like a manosphere type follower, where I didn't even know this stuff existed until maybe like a couple months ago. But just I didn't realize how actually like vile that that space in our own community was, until I found channels like yours. And surprisingly, I know her content is, I believe she broadcasts men for women, but I saw a Mahogany Pink video about the sadism of that group, and that led me to you. And you have basically been able to help me unlearn some of the not so, not ingrained manosphere type teachings, but sort of sympathetic to the cause, to that type of cause. Um, and it's just I've gotten to the point where it's very frustrating to to see the number of cis black men that lack the emotional intelligence, as well as you know well, yeah, mainly emotional intelligence, to really sit down and evaluate their role in the harm of our own community. And I mean, I understand, I don't want to blame black men for the detriment of our entire community. There's a lot of factors in there that go towards that, but um, I had to learn that accountability and addressing accountability isn't the same as dismissing the external causes that have been a great detriment to us. And that's really all I wanted to say. I just thank you for your channel. I remember listening to that orange pill guy, and I've never I've never cussed at my TV screen or my phone as much as, listening to that and seeing it out in real life. It's just yeah, it's just tough. And I just want to thank you for that.
Yeah,
KB, can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
And Themis, is it okay for me to ask KB
go
a
ahead,
question?
go ahead.
What attracted you to the manosphere in the first place?
Um, if I'm being honest, I went to a an HBCU, and I sort of, when I became more accumulated into that system and getting involved in more orgs. I don't know if you noticed in my picture, I'm in a frat, and basically being surrounded by a lot of men that I know are intelligent, and I know at least can bring something of value to not just their lives, but to um, other people's lives. Is I kind of got stuck in this, being surrounded by, I don't want to say high value men, because we were in college and didn't have any money. So so just being around a lot of those male voices kind of made me see things in like in that perspective. And and when I graduated and left that area and spent a little bit more time really just to myself, I wasn't the type to think like, oh yeah, like um all these women out here just like don't want to offer nothing, all that, like, are don't have any value. I was never of that mindset, but the idea of holding women accountable was something that intrigued me back when I was a little bit younger. And then I explored it a little bit. And I believe one specific video that I saw from Kevin Samuels specifically, uh, and I realized how nefarious he is with the how he structures his show and who he has on. He had this particular woman who basically had cheated on her husband. Well, not no, left her husband for cheating on her once, after she cheated on him many times, and then she had a kid with his cousin, all that stuff. And I think accurately pointed out that she was not a good person for what she did. And that would, and when I saw that, it was a little like, okay, this isn't as bombastic as I think social media is making it out to be. But I left that once I left that college sphere, and I never heard the the color purpling of the black community from him until this channel. So that what he said there was disgusting. And yeah, that's kind of how I got caught in. Sorry,
but I gotta ask you. You said you went to an HBCU.
Yes.
What may I ask? Which one?
Florida A&M.
Okay, so Florida A&M. Were you not surrounded by hordes of black women?
I was. The
and
few that I was,
and out of the hordes of black women you were surrounded with, and who probably wanted to date you, you're a frat guy, you're in college, you're black, you know, you're over 5'2", I'm assuming. You still came out of there with that attitude?
Yeah. And
why?
So I had a very smaller group of women friends that once I joined the frat, this is what I did that I view back as being very immature and incorrect. I sort of left everything that kind of kept me a little grounded behind once I joined, and was very much enthusiastic about the superficial of what being in the frat offered. And with being around that superficial stuff, I was also introduced to what the manosphere, their idea of what every woman is. Those were the women that I was introduced to once I got into the frat. Because I mean, I never really changed, became I don't want to say that I if you watch a TV show, someone gets a makeover and they all of a sudden sort of flip in a sense. I kept my personality, but I lost the external factors of myself a lot once I joined that frat. And from then, different ideas were sort of introduced to me that I adopted, and unfortunately felt comfortable adopting, up until there was the whole Me Too movement going around the entire country, and a lot of men were that were in our school were being accused of doing these terrible things. And that's sort of where I didn't diss myself from the frat, because I didn't join the frat for people. I have my own reasons for joining, and I love it for what it means to me. But I distanced myself from that sphere of thinking, and basically took myself out of that circle when I saw that it was getting to something that kind of snapped me back into, okay, this isn't what you came here for. This isn't who you're supposed to be. And that's sort of how that happened.
Yeah, before you ask your next question, this is not, no one is mad at KD, right? Like, part of what is happening in my mind, and I would have been asking some of these questions, is it's interesting because I like to know why things happen. And maybe we could be better at how we approach if we so care, right? If we care about maybe correction, which I don't think any woman on this channel need to, but as a man, I feel like it's also kind of my responsibility, even though I feel like over the past 2-3 weeks, over the past month, maybe I've decided maybe I can change people's minds. So actually hearing this is good. What part of your body was branded, Kate? Do you feel comfortable answering that question?
Oh yeah, that's fine. I got 2 brands on my chest, 6 brands on my arm, and 2 brands on my leg.
Oh, I could not go through with the hazing. Well, I'm not going to talk about this. Sorry, I shouldn't have brought that up. Go ahead, Pink Pill. I don't know if you had more questions. Oh, you're still.
I also do want to apologize if I'm long-winded. My fiance accused me of being the same way. I'm a slow talker, and I try to be very politically correct when I speak. So I do apologize if I sound like I'm rambling as
Wait,
well.
your fiance, congratulations. It's not a badge of honor to be partnered, but when I hear a black man talk about fiance or wife, I'm very excited. Or husband, I don't care.
Thank you.
Someone said congratulations. All right, Valerie, go ahead. I will get back to you, Katie. All right. By the way, moderators, if you guys want to block Jaren, you guys can. At this point, he's just what did that content creator said? Twerking all over the chat. And yeah, at this point, if you guys want to block Jaren, please go ahead and do that. Valerie went, Nyasha. Nyasha? Nope, no more
Hello?
Nyasha. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes, greetings, everyone. So I'm going to pronounce myself exactly. I just wanted to say that I think it is very dangerous if we have a majority of incel black men or black men rage, because if men are angry, they tend to destroy and kill the community, because men are either builder or destroyer. So I think that there should be a way uh, a way where other black men could help other black men. I still have some question. I read some documents who said that black men now are longer virgins than women. What I find very questionable is, if women lose their virginity later than men, who then are those women losing their virginity on? That was my only question that I had. And why are black men having difficulties to find a woman or to find a girlfriend for them? This could be a reason of those incel men who are becoming dangerous in the community. Hope I did not miss the topic. I came a little bit late. Okay, thank you.
Oh, I don't. I think I missed some of that, so I apologize. But oh, Valerie's back. Go ahead, Valerie. Valerie.
Sorry, I forgot to take off my mic.
There you go.
Yeah, I think to one of the statements that some of the people are saying about I guess black women getting money by the government. I think just on a grander scale, people need to realize, like in most developing countries, actually women actually have more help. So if you go to a country like Switzerland or Netherlands, like these other countries, they have more help in terms of childcare, the pricing, or Canada also, pricing of childcare, healthcare, maternity leave. Like there's a lot of rights that we don't have here. That's one, right? So when you also add the difference in economic status, like between the races, that makes it worse for us Black women. That's two. But another thing, what a lot of some men don't realize is this nation, whether we like it or not, is ruled by majority white people, right? If we are moving as a nation, a group of people as a nation, you want your nation to be competitive. Like right now, we're going into a globalized society, right? When you look at China, a country like China, they've been having the kids in their country speak English for the past, what, 6, 7 years, something like that. They have certain advancements in terms of the education of their children, which right now has put us at a disadvantage as the United States, no matter what our makeup is. We are at a global disadvantage in terms of the amount of money we make. Most of the people making money here are foreign men immigrants that are more competitive than we are. Asians, Koreans, or whatnot. So to the to the person who runs a country, a nation, who's trying to build a nation, it is not to their benefit for women to have children that are not productive and competitive. But that's if you're thinking from a nation building society. And sadly, a lot of Black countries don't think in that way. And I can say that, like I said, I'm Haitian. I can say that, right? If you go to my country, like the other girl, she was talking about Jamaica and DV violence. You go to my country, DV violence right now is at an all-time rate, really high, especially now with COVID, because obviously a lot of these men don't plan for crises, right? These are people that came from a slave type mentality and getting money fast, and they didn't plan for contingencies. So they have wives in different towns that you don't know about, mothers, children. If you go to a lot of Black countries, we can talk about even street children, right? And all that contributes to the degradation of a society. It is if, and there was even like with the World Trade Organization, they had a plan at I think a couple of years ago where they were giving small business loans to a lot of women in these countries because they found that when they gave it to the men, all they would do is drink and have multiple children, and they would not uplift their family. So there is a crisis in the way that men that a large population or enough of a population of Black men think that they cannot build a nation. What makes you a viable person for me to say that I'm going to procreate my seed with you? And I think that's a bigger question for people to answer. At the end of the day, before I'm a Black woman, I am a woman. And my seed, I have to ensure that my seed will have the best optimal chance. Whether men don't like it or not, what are you bringing that I know that you deserve to procreate and to bring on another legacy? I'm not just going to have kids just to have kids, right? And if a lot of people know history, the reason why China went into the whole one child rule was because men were blatantly just having kids and they couldn't feed them, right? And it became over a population, a whole thing. A lot of people don't think of history and they think in their moment in time and now. And sadly, a lot of men want to have power without agency or power without foreshadowing and thought. Power is a strong thing. You can't just one power and not know how to direct it because it can either go in a bad way and we're having 100-year wars, or it could go in a good way. Right now, for the Black community as a whole, we need to do better.
I mean, I agree with this so much because power comes with a ton of responsibility. And like we can all be honest, man, women, Black, white, whatever. You can be honest and say, look, I don't want the responsibility, but I feel like I want the power. But you know, thing like that, no one is going to give you power. So you pretend to understand responsibility so you can have power over people. Like power without responsibility is a deadly, deadly thing right? Like, if you don't want to be responsible, if you don't want to be a leader, if you don't want to do anything, if all you want to do is have fun, that's fine. But power should not be in your hands. Don't blame feminism. Actually, thank feminism, because now women can participate in the labor force in a way that they can now take care of themselves and they don't need you. You are not beholden to the patriarchy anymore. Go out and be whatever you want to be, but you no longer get the right to tell people how to live their lives, what to do, and none of that, because you, sir, you do not deserve to have power, because you don't have responsibility, right? So I think what you say is such an important part of the message. The next part is, and this, by the way, I started doing work for the other channel, but when I think about this, it's okay to not be a leader. It's okay to not be a provider. Just don't have tribes and families and kids and wives and whatever it is that you have. Just don't have it, because if you do that, you are stepping into an arena where now you are going to have responsibilities. And it's not okay that you can just shirk off your duties because you just don't feel like it one day. Like, I want to go to the mountains, so I just up and left my children and the family and went to go meditate in the mountains. No. No. You have real responsibilities. So communicate with your partner and figure that out. But I don't think we are there yet. I still think we are operating from super survival mode. And maybe at the point where we stop just surviving and living for the instant gratification and benefit and start planning, like you said, maybe at that point we will see some change. But right now, I don't know how to change people's mindset. Like, I honestly am sitting down thinking, like, these people aren't going to listen. Like, the reason O'Shea Duke Jackson removed his video, in my opinion, right, because YouTube didn't take it down, is because of the pushback. Kevin Samuels said something about men and removed that also. Like, none of these people are going to hold men accountable. None of them are going to teach them not even hold them accountable, right? Like, let's step back. Teach accountability, right? Like, how do you teach accountability to a group who won't watch the video if you start talking about accountability? I don't know.
I mean, for women, I don't think men realize for women, it's a very scary place. And it's always been a scary place. Like, I read a lot of romance novels, and you would hear, even in white communities, maybe they've evolved over time, right? Maybe they had the chance to evolve faster because they didn't have slavery, but you would read in books how like women would get raped or killed. Like, even right now, when you go to India, rape rates are really high. So, like, we have to protect ourselves. And I don't think men realize that. Like, when men are out of order, nations fall. You know what I mean? Like, coup d'etats happen. It is not a funny thing. So now, like, from a woman, even now with women saying, like, you know what, maybe we need to take more heed to how we procreate, to with whom we procreate. There are men right now, when they said winter was coming, I feel like to me, it felt like they wanted to say, we're just going to take what we want. That's what it came off to me. It came off like they were saying, like it was a call to action to say, let's get brutal. To me, that's how it came off. And if you see the numbers rising like this, especially within a period of recession, with people who already didn't have, who felt entitled to have, it is a scary thing. So, and this is in a country like this. I'm not going to tell you in other countries where they don't have certain, like some countries, like I said, I was reading stats in India. You could go to a police station and say someone raped you, and the policeman will rape you. Like, it's a scary state to be a woman. So we have to be cautious, and we have to pick good kings, because if you don't, that's how you have Hitler. And Hitler looked just like all the people that he was leading, and he led them into insanity. So
When black people stop trying to establish leverage over one another, all of these circular arguments will end. The funny thing is women aren't trying to have leverage over black men, at least in the conversation online, right? This idea that it's equal on both ends is ridiculously wrong. It is ridiculously wrong. Men who have nothing do not get to demand something from people. It's just that simple. It is
listen,
just
I was
that.
married to a black man, and I'm not banking. I see everyone as an individual. I do not think just because you're black, maybe it's because like I said, I came from an all black country. I don't think because you're black you're my friend. If I was gay, I would not think because you're gay you're my friend. If I was trans, I would not. There are crazies in all kinds, and they come in all forms. And I need to individually assess if you are capable and if you lie within sanity or insanity, and if your morals lie with me. Period. I'm not gonna align with you. And then on top of it, like I said, we carry children, right? We procreate. We're supposed to procreate for the next generation. We have to foreshadow what doesn't make sense.
Let's do this, right? It makes no sense that we think it's equal on both parts at all, and this is why. What are women asking men to do? Stop, don't say, just think about it. Online, what are women asking men to do? Got it. Great. Do you think what women are asking men to do is ultimately good for one, a relationship, and two, a society? Don't answer that. I will. Yes. All right. Stop. What are men online asking women to do? I'll tell you, don't get a job. Oh, your job doesn't matter. Oh, your degree doesn't matter. All of that stuff, right? Now, imagine, if you will, a world in which women acquiesce to the men's demands. What will happen? One, no resource, and that's the main one. No resource at all. Because again, these men don't have the resources to provide generally for these women. So if men did what women ask, at least what women are asking for online, the community becomes better, provide, protect, whatever, level up, all that stuff. Let me get my education, whatever. Men who don't get their education are asking women to not get an education because it doesn't matter and they should learn to be submissive and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. That community is just going to disintegrate. They are not equal. They are not equal. There is no equivalency to be drawn here. What women are asking for ultimately is helpful, even if you think it's misguided. What men are asking for is just pure ego. Literally just pure ego. Makes absolutely no sense, completely useless, and will ultimately destroy the community. It's that, like, there is nothing to, there's no debate. There is absolutely no debate. This is why I can come firmly on the side of what the women are saying, because what the men are saying is just trash. All right, that's it. I'm done. Pink Pill, you've been here for a while. I'm so sorry for holding you. Do you have any sort of last words as we wrap up, and we'll go through and have everyone give their last words? Oh, I think Pink Pill is out. Good. Kiara.
Oh, okay. Well, our final words. You were absolutely right. This is all based on their ego. I mean, even if we did that scenario that they wanted to, they would just turn around and blame us for saying, "Well, you should have chose better. You should have
Yeah.
chose a stronger man. You should have chose a man who knew what he was doing, that he knew how to lead."
Yeah.
Okay. The bottom line of this is that men need to learn how to get their gender under control. Point blank. Period.
Yeah.
When has your gender in the history of time ever been under control? They really
Yeah.
haven't. And it's really courtesy of your fault because you keep saying that women can't raise men. So that means inevitably you guys need to be raising them, but you refuse to. But then you still want us to continue to have children. You see how that equation for women on the women's side is not going to work? I hate to
Oh,
break it to you, but not everything's about you. You
yeah.
got
You go.
women whose lives are on the line when they're pregnant and even when they're not pregnant. We don't have time to placate with y'all. We don't have time to make you feel better and make your insides feel good and make your ego feel all good and dandy. We don't have time. You guys are either going to get on the boat with us and lead and do your job, or you can get kicked off.
Yeah, that's it.
This is how it's gonna work, and I hate to break it to y'all. Also, this levy is not gonna break the way you want it to. It's going to get to the point where women and girls in general are not going to even be in the same room with men and boys. It's going to get to that point whether you like it or not, because we need to be safe. Bottom line.
Yeah. I'm going to skip KD and come back to him because I want him to close out with the pink pill, maybe if she's here. But Anne, go ahead.
Final thoughts. I am for cooperation, but the thing is, if you do not want cooperation, do not expect it from me. Because if I'm willing to cooperate with you, but you're not willing to cooperate with me, it's a hostile environment. These people who are asking for cooperation aren't being cooperative themselves. How is that to foster anything positive in an environment? And I'm actually a married black woman. I married a black man, and I'm not for divesting. I'm all for finding who is right for you and using your discernment to figure out the best guy who has the best qualities, regardless of race.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And well, I'm not gonna butt in. I think I think that was greatly said. I think Nyasha is next. Nyasha, you're on mute. All right, going once, going twice. Apologies, Nyasha. See you next time. Valerie.
What I would say is, at the end of the day, especially now, like everyone's all for a globalized world. With that being said, I think what women want at the end of the day is want security. I want to be able to come home and not feel like I'm going to get shot. You know what I mean? I want to be able to send my kids to a school and know that they're going to get good education. I want to be able to get affection. How about that? I'm going to also add affection, because I feel like it seems like I think a lot of black men, if they think about the word affection given to the women that procreate for them, even that isn't given.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm going to go for the best man for the job, I'm going to do that, because I have to think of my legacy and I have to think of my bloodline. So you're either going to provide me with an environment, a community that can do it, and if you cannot, I beg you to have several seats and move to the side. That's it.
Period. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna respond to something here. Because this is actually kind of funny. We've had this debate. We've had this philosophical debate in one of my philosophy class, and I promise you this is incorrect. Someone said you can be a leader without a partner. I hope you have someone to lead. You cannot lead in isolation. You can lead without a partner. This is true. Like, if you are still leading a group or a person, you can lead. But if you're saying you can be a leader by yourself, no, you can't. You literally cannot. I find that quite fascinating that you would say that. Women want to make the same amount as men, yes. Have equal or more say, or more say, so far for a home that they are not financially contributing to.
That is a lie.
I mean, that's right now. Women are heading most of household. Like
That is such a lie. Like the
where
complete
do you people
lie
get
of
this?
that. You know how many Haitian women I know that are nurses that are paying bills right now, and their husbands are not even close. My cousin just finished like pharmacy school. My cousin's husband, who is a cheating asshole, okay? Like his wife just got his master's. Why he still has a side woman, and they just got a bigger house? That is a lie. Like, we're not gonna lie to ourselves and say a lot of black women are not carrying households, paying for private school, and it don't matter what race, what culture, not what culture or ethnicity. So that's just a lie.
No, I
You
mean,
know
I think
what?
this
Can
is
I
true.
say something?
Yes, right after this,
Okay.
someone said, yes, David, aka Jaren. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's Jaren. He writes exactly the same way and says the same thing. So I know it's Jaren, but I find it interesting because Jaren has gotten upset because, well, I'm not going to say why he's upset. Anyway, sorry, Atimus and Toth, I have to hop off. It's been a delight as usual. I know, I understand. You gave us way too much of your time. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here and have a wonderful day. Vitamin, take it away.
What I want to say is what women want, unfortunately, and this goes back to your point of saying that what the lady with the other channel, the one Pink Pill kept saying was
Chantelle.
cute. Yes, Chantelle was saying is dangerous because there are women that really just want to be wanted and women that really just want to be chosen and women that want to have that dream. And so they are willing to bend and they are willing to slave and they are willing to prop up, these bodies in the space of the man of the house in order to try to have as close to as what they think they can get to that. And the problem with that is that it is this manosphere rhetoric that causes these cycles of these very things that they keep saying aren't real. Because you have these women making these concessions and bringing these unsafe, unstable men into these houses who get in their feelings or weren't right to begin with. And then they came in because this person is clearly not, strengthened in their spirit enough to be able to say, you know what, I can wait or I can, try to choose somebody who might be a little bit more challenging or something like that. They'll come into these spaces and they know, because if you go into these spaces, these manosphere spaces, they know what they're doing. They are preying on these people. They know when people's self-esteem is low. They know when they can slip in and, oh, girl, you're going to hit the wall. Oh, girl, nobody's going to want you. You're average at best. They can come in and get in where they fit in, and then they go ahead and chip away at you. Then God forbid you wake up, now you have some kids or something, where you just don't want them anymore. And then all of a sudden, oh, you're the bitch that's keeping them from their kids. You're the person that's doing this and that and the other. Then they haul off and kill you because, oh, quote unquote, you ruined their life. And then it's your fault because you didn't pick right.
Yep. By the way, David Jones, who, by the way, I know who this person is. So I don't care about interracial dating. I think it's fun. You guys should do what you want to do. I don't care what people want to do. Do you, ultimately, is what I'm saying. But I do find it odd. And this is one of the things where I look at the individual and the message, because he has so much to say about Black women and his girlfriend is white, right? And I find that quite interesting because he will come in here with all the stats on Black womanhood and why it is an issue. And then also comes on and talk about how I'm not going to do this to him. Let me leave that alone. When he used to do the political discussion, how antithetical everything, all of his stance right now, right? All of his stance right now are contradictory to that which he said while I was talking about the political stuff, right? Where he was also against what I was saying. It's interesting because I went through all of our discussions whenever he came on the panel, and I compared what he was saying then to what he's saying now. And I had a series. I'm not going to do this, so this is why I'm talking about it. I did the video yesterday, and I felt bad for the person after I did it, and I was like, okay, let's not do this. Comparing his statements back then to now and how unprincipled they are, right? Because he's just out to just diminish Black women in all of his conversations, every single one that we've had on this panel. And then it's also logically inconsistent with everything that he said previously. So again, this is a Black man who's dating out, right? Which is fine. That is not the problem for me. It is then you come back here and you say all these things. So maybe these women, not maybe, these women are getting the same black men that are here in the community, I guess. So let him divest and go there and be with whoever he wants. I've been away. What are we discussing? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. What are we talking about? Submission. We're past that, aren't we, David Jones? Yeah, well, David, I just used him as an example. I was going to do a video, but instead I decided to block this person. I'm not going to block David. He was blocked on his other account, so that's fine. Yeah, I decided I won't do the video on him because the platform is big enough to where people can be hated, and I decided not to do it. All right. KD. First of all, I don't know if I said this and you heard it, but a lot of people are saying congratulations on your engagement. And someone said you should never apologize for speaking slowly and being thoughtful about that which you're going to say. Any final words? We can't hear you. Katie? And why?
Oops. Hi. Do you hear me clearly?
Yep, you're the last person. I looked down and everyone who was waiting disappeared, and I was like, "Thank God." So yeah,
Yeah, I didn't really catch most of the broadcast, sadly, but I do want to add that it would be nice if someone can break down how the same rhetoric that was happening in the 80s is repeating itself again through Mr. KS and several other people. So it would be great to see how back then what kind of results it produced to kind of in a sense to kind of predict what will be the results of what Mr. KS is doing right now. And yeah, that's what I wanted to add. I was just thinking about that, and it would be great to see that analysis, just to get a sense of where we're going in the future, in terms of the community, or quote unquote community. Yeah, that's what I wanted to add. And thanks for the show. And have a good night.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to close out and then come back. Bell host. Well, let's. So bell hooks, for a lot of people, I think a lot of people know of her from this kind of critical race theory dialogue. I probably shouldn't talk about this. Let me not get into detail because I did have something set up, but I'm not going to do this. I'm going to say that rest in peace. Your work was transformative, even if people push back against it a lot. And I do hope that your legacy is one that we can remember, talk about, and engage with for years. Well, I mean, I know that's going to happen. She passed at 69, and so very young. I mean, it is very unfortunate. Our next debate, by the way, coming up at the end of January, beginning of February, will be about, ready? It will be about the West, well, I'm not going to explain it further than this. The West involvement in the rest of the world, and whether or not this was a net positive or a net negative. Now, I will, between today and tomorrow, post the moderators who will be in charge of the two teams, and you guys should reach out to these moderators and engage with them, try to get on the team, all of that. So we can so we can engage with it. The problem is, and part of what I want us to do is be thoughtful about who gets what side, because these people will not choose what side they're on. I will be assigning them someone said imperialism. I will be assigning them to a side. So a lot of what will be said might be a bit out of character, right? And it might seem odd to you. You might disagree, but we are trying to move some of the conversation away from our emotional responses and listening to argumentation, presentation of arguments, right? And see who can convince us when we are in the logical side of our brain as opposed to emotionally being tied to ideas about, I don't know, imperialism and colonization. So that is that on that. I hope someone said, theme is that Jaren. I hope I'm looking forward to it. To this debate. I absolutely love doing these debates. Oh yeah, my blog. I'm writing again on my blog. Let me put my blog up on the screen because I'm very bad at things. By the way, you will never have to pay for, like, my blog is not to for purchasing anything. But this is my blog. If you guys have the time, it's themistos.com. It is secured, so you can go there, browse through. I write my blog post, and there is a pop-up. I don't know why. Yeah, and you can read. I posted, my last one was about protecting your energy. I have another one coming up the end of this week. Please do it. Themis and Thoth, what happened to the book review? I actually did review chapter 1 of the book, and I'm about to post it. I probably should just post it after this. I get really weirded out by posting things because I'm putting my work out there to get judged, but it is what it is. So I'm going to post it today. I'm going to post the first review of the chapter tonight for members. You guys will see that. I already wrote it. I'm just now having to post it. So yeah, if you guys want to know anything about critical race theory, I also have a post there. I don't know. I'm really bad at promoting things. So that's my blog. You can go there and you can see it. Cool. I think that is it. So housekeeping matters. We have a debate coming up in the next month-ish. The blog is up. I will post the book review. And yeah, I hope to do more live stream randomly for the next couple of days or month or whatever. But yeah, you'll see more of me, hopefully. All right, that's it. I'm done. Bye. Have a great night, guys.